So we're getting closer to this first preseason game with the Cowboys, and we're going to get a lot of questions answered with that first preseason game. And look, I get it. There's a lot of stuff we're hearing going on with the training camp, but it's starting to become redundant, so there's no point in covering that. But with that being said, that doesn't mean that we can't talk about what should we expect going into this first preseason game and a couple other mini storylines that have been going on in training camp. So before we get started, if you can like this video, that'd be greatly appreciated. It doesn't take too long to do whatsoever. It helps to perform better in the algorithm, so thank you for that. Subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell as well. Over 65% of you guys watching are not subscribed, so hit that notification bell. You'll get notified, hey, when the first video comes out, so might as well go ahead and do that. Now, a couple of things that you need to keep an eye out on as we enter that first preseason game. Number one, the kicking game. I'm very much well aware of the fact that Jonathan Garibay is now gone. Brett Maher is back in a Cowboys uniform, and he will be competing with Lirim Hajrullahu. And with that, there are question marks. And I did say this in the previous video. Like, I think the Cowboys need to go get a vet. I said, these are the guys you can go get, and let's just have an open competition. Good job. You did exactly that. I know that a lot of us have PTSD, and I'm not trying to have a Stockholm Syndrome-like moment here. However, the one thing that Brett Maher has going for him, if we're looking at it in a positive lens, is that, hey, he had a really good run in New Orleans. I think he only missed like 2 kicks out of 18 he made, and I think he missed like 2 extra points. But, again, you know, not as bad as when he was with the Cowboys before. I think he was making 66% of his field goals. Now, here's the thing, and I want to make this emphatically clear. The Dallas Cowboys need to go with the right guy. If it happens to be Maher, I'm not going to be mad about it because I personally think, until proven otherwise, Maher is your best option, and I'm sorry to say it, but Cowboys fans, that's just the honest truth. Now, that doesn't mean that the Cowboys made the right decision for this kicking situation. I already talked about that. But again, the Dallas Cowboys have made their bed. It is now up to them to lay in it. And if this goes awry, then that's on them. You know, I'm not going to sit here and complain because, you know, if Maher is missing kicks, hey, you're the guys that brought him in and put yourself in that position. But at least they're being proactive with it rather than waiting. So that's good. So I'm keeping an eye out on these kickers. I don't know if they're going to rotate kickers. I don't know if they're going to just get Lirim a bunch of shots and just run with Maher. But hey, we'll see what happens. Now, the big thing, too, that I'm looking forward to is the offensive line. The offensive line is going to be one of the biggest focal points of this entire preseason because of, hey, you know, you got the changes on the line. You want to see some of these backups trying to develop into something. So I'm going to keep an eye out on Josh Ball. Going to keep an eye out on Isaac Alacorn. Going to keep an eye out on all these other guys. You know, I'm not sure how they're going to relegate Tyler Smith, if they might have him out there for a series or 2. But keep an eye out. I want to see how this thing goes. You know, I could throw in a couple of other good names like Matt Waletzko and Alec Lindstrom, but the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, I want you to watch them and see how they perform, because if they don't perform well, then it's going to be harder to analyze other position groups. For example, quarterback and wide receiver. Quarterback is a battle between Will Grier and Cooper Rush. No question about it. You have the guy in Will Grier who I like, and I think if you try to adapt the offense to run more with your quarterback, he's going to be the guy for that. However, with Cooper Rush, you're kind of going more towards this traditional pocket passer type of offense, which, okay, whatever, you know, you got to do what you got to do, but if you're trying to keep things the same, which I'm a huge believer in, you want to try and hope that Will Grier emerges. With those quarterbacks, you do have the wide receivers that also will have a big eye on them, because a lot of people have been talking highly about Simeon Fehoko, TJ Vasher, Cavante Turpin, all these guys. And, you know, the other thing, too, is you want to hope that, you know, knock on wood, you don't get any more injuries because of, you know, what you got at receiver. But I'm going to keep an eye out on those 2 position groups there as well. Moving forward to the defensive side of the ball, really interested to see these, you know, front 7, guys, specifically the defensive tackles. I want to see how they perform because, this is important. A lot of this entire defense hinges on that interior defensive line. And you can argue, yeah, you want to see your linebackers do well also, but that's a big thing. A certain player that I'm keeping an eye out on is Kelvin Joseph. There has been a lot of talk about the guy not being interested in playing football, and I'm not trying to sit here and say that it's true or not, but you got to prove us otherwise. And so I want him to go out and have a really good preseason game, but we got to keep an eye out on how things go there. There really is a whole lot of other things to keep an eye out on, but in general, there's a lot of question marks surrounding this roster. And with it, we'll start getting our questions answered, and then in that third final preseason game, I think we'll get the full-on, this is how things are going. Because we're hearing a lot of good things about the Dak to Lamb connection. We're hearing a lot of good things about your offensive line, specifically your left guard. You're hearing a lot of good things here and there. You're hearing a bit of iffy things. But this is kind of the time and place where we're hearing the same things, and it's like I'm not going to touch on them again, right? So there's that. Now, how would I word this? What would be something that would throw us off guard? What is something that is the most important out of the bunch? I'm going to say it like I mentioned in the first entire situation. If this kicking game is not good, your season is very much going to be very dependent on, you not really relying on them kickers. So that's what worries me as a Cowboys fan, is that, again, they did their due diligence in signing a vet. I'm not going to get him mad at that, but if that vet in Maher doesn't do well, that's on them. They elected to go after him. They worked out all four of these kickers, and they said, hey, you're the guy. We have some familiarity there. If he does well, cool. If not, well, I don't know what to say. But that is the biggest issue with this preseason, is that there's a lot of question marks. And it's only a matter of time before we start getting those answers. Whether it be now or later, we're going to get answers. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This will be the final video before the preseason game. I'm trying to get the next Spacecast video up. I think we should be aiming for the next couple days. Just recently got a new position at work, so I'm still adjusting to that. So you're going to have to give me some time there. But we're going to be talking about Mike Fisher. I might do it live. I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Alright guys, have a good one. Goodbye.